about these this company that is out there shopping for brands, and I know it's the individual brand they're looking for, but they hit on 4 points that they're really looking for, and that is the 4Ds. They said they want brands that are data-driven, digitized, direct, and non-dependent, and they expanded on that. The non-dependent being, rephrased as controls their own destiny. Destiny. Yeah. Pardon.
Yep.
You are my density. Little Back to the Future throwback there. Anyways, Dan, when you see that quote, what are your thoughts? What can you take from this that a retailer can take and do something with?
Well, here's a couple of guys that really have their shit together. This is the Unified Commerce Group. They're out there buying brands, but they're buying brands at a level that meet their criteria. And it doesn't so much matter what kind of a brand it is. These guys are in that retail space, and they follow what they call their 4Ds. The 4Ds, data-driven, digitized, direct, and non-dependent. And Rob, I'm going to say, this is part of what we believe is our secret sauce. We've been guiding retailers on 3 of these for many, many, many years. Management One, has been this data-driven organization. This is how they drive retail. And as retail coaches and consultants and service providers, and even in our point of sale world, we've been guiding retailers on these things for many years. Next month, we're 31 years old. We've been doing this for a long time. It is, only in the last 8 or 10 have we added that 4th D, which is digitized. But you've got to be data driven. You've got to be direct to consumer. You've got to be non-dependent on your brands. And so think about what that means. Yep. In the apparel market, digitized was not as significant prior to March 2020. It was playing a part, but it was in infancy. And so now we're seeing where digitization, omni-channel experience, synonymous experience levels are really being part of this equation. And certainly the guys at UCG are laying down a pathway. They just purchased Frank and Oak, a store that went bankrupt, or they bought them from bankruptcy earlier in the year, which is a great men's brand. Was a pretty great men's brand, and they're going to revive them. But they looked at these things. Are they data driven? And what does data driven really mean for a retailer? Well, it means that every investment you make, every investment decision, i.e. inventory decision we make, needs to be driven by truth rather than what we believe to be true. I believe it will sell. I believe they're my top performer. I believe. We don't usually interject that word, I believe. We just make this statement. They are my best vendor. Okay, show me why. And and I say that over and over again. Show me why they're your best. Show me the data that tells me they're the best vendor in your store. So we do need to be data driven in our stores. And every single investment you make in inventory must come from a place of truth, a place of data. The other D they use, not data driven, but direct. How do you strengthen your direct brand relationship with your consumer? Not the brands you carry in the store, but your brand. And when we talk about direct, you see, you have an indirect influence when you're promoting some of these great brands that we use in our stores. I think I talked about Moose Knuckles a little while ago. If you're promoting Moose Knuckle, you're not promoting yourself. You're not direct. Right? You're indirectly driving that. You need to drive and strengthen your direct brand. What is that shirt? I love that top. What is it? Well, it is ... in boutique. Yep. It's not it's not a Manning Anvil t-shirt, it's a Twig and Berries t-shirt. And that's the power of being direct. Digitize. So what do we mean by digitize? Digitize is really, how we've enhanced our digital appearance and messaging in our stores, in our consumer's mind. Does our digital appearance and messaging match the in-store vision that we have? And vision is really her perception in your store. And you've got to take your in-store experience, your in-store presentation, and virtualize it, digitize it. You've got to be in that digital zone. And so that's critically important for them. And then the non-dependent D is, speaks to, are we building our own brand alongside of our partners? Are we adding products, capsule collections, collaborations that are ours, making us less dependent on those vendors? Right now, it has never been easier to create a brand or a capsule collection in your apparel store. You can go to any number of your vendors and say, hey, love to do a collaboration. I'd love to build a little capsule collection that is just mine. Every furniture guy out there does it. Every apparel guy out there does it. And you can take products and build your own. You could go to market right now and build your own products. It is not nearly the expense that it used to be.
Right.
The MOQs, the minimum order quantities have come down. There are more opportunities. And certainly this does not have to happen overseas. It does not have to happen in Asia. It can happen in Europe. It can happen. I mean, Italy is doing a great job with some brands right now. And you've got brands right here at home that are happy to collaborate with you.
Nice. I remember an old episode you talked about where art, the crossroads where art meets math, or
art and science,
yeah. Art and math, and so much of what you and your team do is, I love let the retailer be the artist, let them be the passionate side of whatever it is they're selling, but we're gonna keep you kind of rooted and or grounded in the data and the science of it all, and this just truly supports it.
It does. Rob, it so does. And our job in retail, as retail guides, as retail coaches, is to understand how to build an offense.
Yeah.
How do we play offense, not defense? And I don't care what world you come from. If you only take a defensive stance, you can never win. You have to score a goal to win. You got to kill the other guy to be the champ. That's the way it works. You've got to play offense. You got to throw a punch. You got to take risk. You got to shoot the puck. You have to play offense. And my job, our jobs as good retail coaches is to use data to build a solid offense and to take risk. And I said to somebody last night, I got a question. Somebody sent me a text late last night. Should I take this risk? I'm like, Billy, if you want big rewards, you got to take big risk,
Yeah.
No
Right
guts,
on.
no glory. Take some risk. And here's how much risk you should take.
Yeah.
It's X. This is how we quantify how much risk you should take. And that is absolutely about, here's some science. Now allow what you're so good at, the art, to take over.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that, bringing that up. That's awesome. It is absolutely where art and science meet.
Yeah, totally.